has been to an Indian festival on Sunday. Today, we celebrated Greek American Independence Day. Yesterday, we celebrated the beginning of Ramadan. And we're coming upon Passover and Easter, and we are a reflection of the diversity of America here, because everybody gets along. We love our neighbors here in Nassau County. So the message here today is as follows. If you do this crime here in Nassau County, we will put all of our efforts into tracking you down. And I want to commend our police department. Thank you, Inspector. Thank you, Commissioner, because we take these things seriously here in Nassau County. But more importantly, I want to thank you, Mayor. I want to thank all of you, all of my colleagues in government that are here, Republicans and Democrats, because we join together. We put all our partisan differences aside when things like this happen. Because again, an attack on any one group is an attack on all of us. So unfortunately, I got to run back to some meetings back at the Theodore Roosevelt building, but I wanted to come here today. I wanted to make the statement and let people know this is bittersweet here today. It's bitter because we have to be here, but the sweetness is that we're all together, and we have that kind of county, and we love each other, and we celebrate our differences. We don't attack our differences. So I want to congratulate the Great Neck Chinese Association for bringing this to the forefront and having this press conference in partnership with the village. And I will tell you this, all of our colleagues in government, no matter what party they're in, we will continue to fight, because we love the fact that hate crimes are going down in Nassau County, because when we see them exploding in other parts of the United States, it's because they don't celebrate the love that we do here, and they don't have the vigilance that we have, and they don't stand together. And that's what we need to do, stand together. God bless you all. God bless the United States of America.
Now, I'm pleased to call to the microphone Nassau County Legislator Mazi Philip.
Good afternoon. I would like to thank the Mayor and the board members and all my colleagues in government and all of you for being here today. I want to be clear. Hate has no home in Great Neck or anywhere in Nassau. What happened to the Great Neck Chinese Association banner was vile. It made me sick, and it's not acceptable to all of us. Fighting hate is not Democrat or Republican. It's about us. It's about our children, about our community, about the future of this county. Great Neck is a community of all kinds of culture and people. We stand together here to fight hate. Think about our community. It's such a beautiful community, and we have to make sure it stays like this. To the people who defaced the banner at the train station, I say this: you will not gonna win. The people here will fight hate and will not rest until hate has not home. Thank you so much.
And now I'm pleased to call the Supervisor of the Town of North Hempstead, Honorable Gnca.
Thank you so much, Mayor and members of the Village Board. Thank you to the Great Neck Chinese Association for inviting me here and for gathering this powerful showing together. I mean, we dropped everything today to stand together against hate. As was said so beautifully, when an act against any one of us is an act of hate against all of us. Hate has no place in our town. It is unacceptable and vile to discriminate against someone based on their race, ethnicity, culture, or religion, and is especially hurtful to vandalize this sign, which was a welcoming sign to the Great Neck Plaza area. I condemn this terrible act, and I stand with our Chinese community here in Great Neck and across the town of North Hempstead. I want to thank the Nassau County Police Department and our 6th Precinct for doing everything you can to find the perpetrators of this vile act and punishing them. The town of North Hempstead has worked very hard to help foster a community that values acceptance, respect, and inclusion for all individuals. We celebrate our diversity. We have beautiful diversity in the town. And I promise that this will never change. We will always stand here and send the message that hate will not be tolerated here, not in our town. As supervisor of the town of North Hempstead, I will always stand with you in the face of hatred. And I promise that neither I nor the town will stand idly by and let acts of hate like this take place and hurt our residents. God bless you all, and thank you for all coming together.
And now I'd like to welcome to the podium the Honorable Gnca Lerby, Town Council Member of Town of North Hempstead.
So I am Councilwoman Veronica Lerby, and I represent the beautiful community of Great Neck. When I received a text on my phone last week with a picture of the defaced banner, I was heartbroken. I live in this community. My son just graduated from Great Neck South. This was not just a random act of vandalism, but it was a targeted attack towards the Chinese and Asian American communities of Great Neck, a targeted attack against my friends. This type of hate speech and discrimination has no place in our neighborhood, and we stand here together today to reject it. We call on all members of our community to stand with us in condemning this hateful act, promoting greater respect and tolerance for cultural and racial diversity. The town of North Hempstead is a not in our town community. And what does it say? We pledge to not remain silent to hate, intolerance, or violence. As your town council member, I recognize the responsibility I have in these situations. Recently, the Asian American Advisory Committee at the town of North Hempstead responded to concerns raised by the town's Asian American Advisory Task Force by initiating bystander hate crime training. It was so well received that we plan on offering more in the future. We're also exploring additional programming, including leadership trainings, workshops for AAPI professionals, government internship opportunities for AAPI youth, events to celebrate AAPI diversity, and targeted assistance for seniors in their languages. I'm looking forward to working with the town's Asian American Advisory Committee, organizations such as the Great Neck Chinese Association, as well as our local village officials, on initiatives that promote diversity and inclusion in our community and to ensure that all members are treated with respect and dignity. I call on us together to join and say yes to community and no to hate. Thank you.
And now I would like to ask the Nassau County Police Commissioner, Patrick Ryder, to please come up.
Good afternoon. So just to give you some numbers, last week on the 16th, when we were reported about this crime, I immediately gave a briefing to the county executive. And his answer was, make sure all the resources are behind it. It's a given. You always get that from our department here in Nassau County. We are always going to give 100% no matter what the community is. Last year at this time, hate crime against the Asian community was at 15. This year, it's at 8. So we've got over a 50% reduction. We have no violent hate crime in this county against anyone in over a year. We're doing everything we can because of the cooperation we get from the community. So what I ask you all here today, that crime, photos have been taken, crime scene has been out here, our detectives are pulling video in the community, we're running our license plate readers that are out there, We're working with our partners in New York City to see if they have anything like that in their city. And then we're also working with our communities. If you see something, say something, please. You can, Inspector Vitale is here from the 6th Precinct. He'll bring it directly to the 6th Squad who is investigating this case. You can also contact our Crime Stoppers if you want to remain anonymous. And remember, there is a $5,000 reward anytime somebody comes forward with information that leads to the conviction or arrest of an individual that commits these crimes. So to the community, we promise you that we are going to give 100% into any hate crime to any group in this county. Thank you.
And now I'm pleased to call to the microphone longtime religious leader in our community, Rabbi Robert Whittam, Temple Emmanuel, Kings Point.
First, I want to thank you for inviting me to be part of today. A critical moment in the history of our community. And I want to say to all those who've spoken eloquently about the need for us to be together, to be one. The mayor, I think, spoke for all of us when he said that community gets an A in its attempt to do things. When I was a kid growing up in the Bronx, how many remember the Bronx? Raise your hand. Don't be embarrassed. One person, thank you for remembering. I would come home with a report card, and my grandmother would say, "Wonderful. Bobby," that's what they called me, "you got an A." But why didn't you get an A+? And I think that's the truth of all of it. That we have more work to do in this town and every town throughout this country. We have to root it out from wherever it is. Wherever we find it, it must be rooted out. We must be one. We don't come because we think we will speak and they will hear and they will listen and they will do. They will never do. But we have to be against what we represent, these haters. And we must show them how powerful we can be in opposing the vile behavior that they represent. So we come for that purpose, to unify people of good faith, of every nation, color, and creed, to stand against what we've seen just these past days. And to know that we must become one. Because in the last analysis, the most important values of love, of mercy, of compassion, of hope, of friendship, of decency, of tolerance, cannot be at the mercy of what they seek to establish. To divide us, to destroy us, is what they want. And we stand for the kind of unity that will oppose it here and everywhere. So again, thank you for all who've spoken and will speak. I know Robert Zimmerman will speak, others will speak, in behalf of what we must be doing. And I hope that we accomplish something. And again, to thank the mayor and all those who've spoken today, spoken so beautifully as to what we are and what we must yet do. Accept the challenge to go forward today and create what we must, better communities here and everywhere. So thank you, one, and thank you again for inviting me.
I have to say, your grandmother would be proud of the village. We got an A in diversity, but our overall mark was A+. I'm now pleased to call up the newly elected president of Racism, Laura Harding. Please join us at the podium.
Good Good afternoon, everyone. I never thought that I would be celebrating Great Neck in this way, or certainly visiting Great Neck in this way. But I do want to thank Mayor Rosen for immediately responding to this. As Long Island begins to change in terms of demographics, it's important that we ensure in our schools and in our communities that we find spaces to bring everyone together. It's not just us getting up here today and condemning these actions, but it's actually us also living it in how we practice, in who we invite into our homes, in the businesses we support, in our classmates, the children our students interact with, and making sure that we model as parents, as human beings, as professionals in our professional settings, that what we are saying here today, that this is not a performative opportunity for us to get up here and condemn discrimination and racism, but it's an opportunity for us to celebrate what makes Long Island special. The people that come here to create lives in communities where they are celebrated and welcome. So I hope that instead of opportunities like this, we'll have further opportunities to interact in our schools, to do a level of education around opportunity, around the celebration of the diversity that each of us bring to the table. And in our community events, I look forward to working with the Chinese American Association to find ways that we can host events and opportunities for information. Thank you very much.
Now, I'd like to ask Rabbi Michael Klayman if he's still here. Through Secretary. I know he had to leave. He may have left already. Rabbi Daniel Schweber, Temple Israel. Okay, could not be here. And I'd like to introduce former congressional candidate Robert Zimmerman.
Thank you. I'm here today as a resident of this community since I was 9 years old, having grown up here, having served as president of Great Neck B'nai B'rith and American Jewish Congress for Long Island, and as a leader in the LGBTQ+ community. I stand here today so grateful to what the Great Neck Chinese Association has done. Steve and Dorothy, thank you for bringing us together. And to you, Ted and Pam, this village hall has never looked better to me than it does today, with all of you assembled here today. And it's particularly important because as we see hate crimes rising to record levels throughout our country, against the Asian community, the Chinese and Korean community, as we see it confronting the Black community in record numbers, anti-Semitic acts being reported in record high numbers around our country, and assaults on the Catholic community, Spanish community, and certainly the LGBTQ+ community. As we see record numbers of hate crimes grow throughout our country, we have here in Nassau County and in our communities wonderfully low numbers of hate crime incidents that we're facing. And Commissioner Ryder, to you, to Inspector LaSalle, the 6th Precinct, thank you for the leadership you show in enforcement. We're grateful to you for what you've given us, the comfort and support you've shown us. And to all of you here in our county and town governments, and our school district in particular as well, and our religious centers, thank you for the education, the embracing, the inclusion that you give all of us in our communities. It wasn't so long ago, I used to sit alone at the diner when I was a kid growing up because I didn't want to admit that I didn't have a date for the dance as a gay kid. I understood that isolation and that loneliness that comes from feeling like the other. And I know so many still have that feeling. But because we have the Great Neck Chinese Association standing up and bringing people together as you are today, because we have so many of you standing together, this travesty, this crime that we saw committed in our community will be responded to with law enforcement, it'll be responded to with education, and it'll be responded to because we're coming together as one community. No one should ever feel alone when confronting hate, when confronting racism, when confronting attacks upon one's ethnicity, or their character, or their creed. Because of your presence here, we will not feel alone. I'm so grateful to the Great Neck Chinese Association for what you've done for all of us, taking this tragedy and this crime and turning it into a call for action, a call for unity. We're better as a community because of that. We're greater as a community because of what we're doing here today on every level of government. Hate will not win because we are better than that in Great Neck. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Now I'd like to ask Co-President Chen to come up to the podium with me, and we're pleased to open up the floor for questions. If you have questions from any one of the people that spoke, please feel free to ask them at this time. It's a news conference, there has to be questions.
I'll ask a couple.
Yes.
So last year there was some resistance when Erase Racism attempted to do a presentation on systemic racism at the school, and I'm wondering how we can use this horrible incident as an opportunity to again be able to present at our schools and in our community centers to build a level of commitment and relationship with each other, both Asian, AAPI, Black, Latino, etc.
I cannot address whatever happened last year, but I know you and I briefly spoke
Yes.
about possibly going forward and forming a group, an umbrella group of many organizations to meet on a regular basis and to promote, inclusion and diversity and acceptance. And certainly I'll be happy to continue that conversation with you. And we can certainly, meet here in the Village Hall or wherever. So we will explore that.
Thank you, Mayor.
Any other questions? Well, this is like a college class I teach with no questions.
We have Christine Blue representing Assemblywoman Gnca here as well.
Would you like to come up?
Please.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Gnca, for hosting this press conference, which is much needed. My name is Christine Liu. I'm a community leader and also the community liaison to Gnca, who is our Assemblywoman for District 16. Gnca has been a champion for the Asian community here in our district and up in Albany, which is where she is now, unfortunately, and she sends her sincere apologies for not being here today. Gnca has deep roots here in Great Neck, serving the Great Neck community for almost 30 years. I am proud of this organization's work, and Gnca is a role model for all of our organizations. So when I first saw the picture of the defaced Gnca banner, I was shocked by the hateful words. Then it turned to anger, and then finally a state of sadness settled in, because for all the progress that we have made towards equality, diversity, right, and respect for one another, some people in our town still harbor ill will towards people who are just a bit different. But I want to say this is not a true reflection of our community. When the Atlanta spa shooting happened, the next day I received a call from then former Supervisor Judy Bosworth, who offered her deepest sympathies. And with all the stuff that was happening with the rise in hate crimes, she said, Christine, we have to do something about this. And we did. This is the sign that we created together. Town Councilwoman Veronica Lurvy, community leaders. It was translated into 10 different languages so that we can proudly display this on our front lawns and all around our town. It shows that we are united, we are resilient, and we are strong. And for sure, not in our town. So fast forward to this year. On Lunar New Year, there was another tragic shooting in Monterey Park, California. The next day, I was contacted, sorry, I live in the 3rd precinct. So Commanding Officer Gnca, he called to express his condolences to me and my community for that tragedy. And that the police here are willing and ready to support the Asian community. He knew that it was Lunar New Year and we had so many events. I myself was hosting a 1,000-person event at Herrick's, and I asked, can we have some police officers there, undercover? And he said, absolutely. And he sent police officers, Commissioner Ryder, they were amazing. They came in, they surveyed the area, and no one even knew that they were there. Pop Officer McGuire and Orlando, awesome. And they were in all of our events, whoever requested them, because they are here to support the Asian community. So this is the town that I know, filled with caring, supportive, and respectful people. This is the town I proudly call home, and so do you all. Once Gnca posted about this vandalism, there was an outpour right away. Comments on Facebook, social media, that it's disgusting. Emails to the mayor and the village trustee, right? So while I'm disgusted that this hateful graffiti happened in our community in 2003, I'm once again inspired of the subsequent actions that have been taken by community leaders as yourselves here and the residents of our town to stand together and denounce this hateful rhetoric and show that hate absolutely has no place here, not in our town. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll just add a couple brief comments. As a representative for the Great Neck Chinese Association, we are so thankful for the outpouring of support from local leaders, the police, and our neighbors. I think what makes America great precisely is because of diversity, because each one of us brings a little bit of uniqueness to the table. Growing up until this day, my best friend is Jewish. So I've celebrated Jewish holidays, and he celebrated Chinese holidays with me, and that's what brings us together. And for the same reason, and this is why we moved to Great Neck, because of diversity, and because of the uniqueness that everyone brings. So thank you again for all of you for coming today and showing your support. And I think and I believe that Great Neck will be better and stronger than ever. Thank you.
So once again, if there are no questions, that will conclude our program. Thank you all for coming here today.
Rich, get the picture. Picture of the banner. We can email it. Something like that. Yep. I don't know if they have it. I just reached out to see if they did. Let's go. Okay. Thank you.
So you're always in Albany? 所以你先讲几句吧，还是你介绍一下给大家。
对，我们今天在这边呢，大金这边呢 ，Gnca 这边，那我们召开记者招待会呢，就是谴责在上一周他们有在华人，就是大金华人协会上面的横幅上面涂鸦这种歧视的字眼。那我们今天在这边呢，跟所谓的民选官员以及社区的代表谴责这种的行为，那要惩罚所谓的对于我们社区的这些的歧视。那我们呢，更让他们知道呢，大金长岛这边也是一个多元化的社区，我们的华人、亚裔一直在这边生活，给这个社区贡献这么多。那今天也感谢这么多的社区的代表出来。那现在呢，在我旁边呢也是有 Robert Zimmerman， 那他呢就是去年呢我们在选这个我们皇后区以及这个长岛这边第3区的国会议员的选区。
Thank you. Andy, we are so grateful that you're here in Great Neck with your business. It's so important for us, a great bakery, Asian French bakery. And we're so important, but it says a lot about our community, the way our community comes together. Your success here, Andy, in Great Neck is so important, but also the unity in this room. We're standing up to an act of hate, a crime against the Chinese community, a crime that was against our very souls and our character. And to watch the way the Great Neck Chinese Association brought everyone together today, from the Jewish faith, from the African American community, from the Hispanic community, is so important. And to have it here with every level of government, leaders in the county, the town, and our village, says that we are united with the Great Neck Chinese Association because hate will not win. We are better than that. And hate has no place here. And we thank them and we thank you, Andy, for your leadership.
Thank you。再说明他的名字，我们要支持他。
对，
叫什么？
他就是 Robert Zimmerman， 他中文名字叫
Robert Zimmerman。We must be support you.
Oh, very kind. Thank you so much.
Thank you
so much.
Yeah,
Grateful
thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you.
还有
Christine Liu.
回信也讲一下呢，他现在呢是在帮那个州议员，就是 Gnca， 你有在我朋友圈见过。然后呢，他现在在选这个 New Hampshire 第4区的市议员。他呢今年选上，那就是在长岛区我们第1位华人的议员。
OK， 太好了，自我介绍一下，先自我，然后好，我们要支持咱们华裔的议员啊，谢谢。
好，你好，我是 Christine Liu 刘巧怡，我是今年在 running for town council for District 4 in the town of North Hempstead， 很高兴今天可以看到这么多朋友来支持我们的华人地区，然后我们知道在纽约应该是很欢迎所有的国家，可是呢，还是有一些人对我们有一点排斥。我们要用我们的 education 去教他们 and have equal respect for each other， 然后他们可以知道我们可以一起住在一起，活动在一起 ，and then make this town a better place. So I hope everybody really will stand together united. Thank you so much.
谢谢，确实是美国本来就是一个多族裔的一个欢乐的家园，是吧？谢谢你。还有刘怎么称呼？咱们哪个区？我们再支持一下。
District 4。
District 4。
第4区。North Hampshire 第4区。
North Hampshire 嘛，第4区。
刘巧
玲，咱们支持刘巧怡。
竖心旁再一个台。
刘巧怡，咱们要支持她啊！谢谢，支持咱们的华裔议员，谢谢。
你是 New Hyde Park，North New Hyde Park，Great Neck Plaza，Lake Success。OK， 差不多。
那个邮编是多少？现在？
哦，11040。
11020。好，谢谢。
好，谢谢。
谢谢。还有 Andy 最后讲几句。
没有，就是说希望大家多支持一下我们就是华人的这些候选人。好的。那在真正的因为长岛这边真正的都没有华人，
是
或者说真正的亚裔的这种民选官员跟代表，那很重要的就是现在我们在庆祝多元化期间，也要有我们的代表在座位上面，我们才能更有力的拿到我们的资源。对，好啊，
谢谢 Andy 啊，谢谢。好，谢谢。你跟他拍张照片吗？啊？你跟他拍张照片。Good job。哦，对，来一起拍一张嘛，来。Thank you。咱们州长的代表，你要讲几句吧，今天。好嘞，谢谢。OK， 好，谢谢，我们结束今天直播。安妮又走了，是那个 David 叫我过来，他不错的啊。好，还有个奖来。今天我们是在 Great Neck 啊，这个。
我刚看到这个，我还有点想不出来名字。
Thank you. OK， 你先介绍一下。
现在呢，站在我旁边呢就是这个 Veronica， 她现在也是呢 North Hampshire 第4区的这个市议员。那今年呢，她也会再选整个区的这个receiver 的台然后希望大家多支持。那她非常支持呢我们的社区，我们华人以及亚裔的社区，那也跟我们呢走得非常的近。那今天呢，她也站出来呢，就是谴责这种对于我们华裔亚裔社区的这种歧视的字眼。
So thank you so much. I'm Veronica Lurvy. I'm the councilwoman for the town of North Hempstead. I live here in Great Neck. What happened here with the defacement of the Great Neck Chinese Association banner was more than just an act of vandalism. It was an attack on the Asian American community. It was an attack on my friends, on my neighbors, and I could not be more upset. We at the town of North Hempstead are not in our town community, and we pledge to stand up and speak out against violence, hatred, intolerance of any kind, against anybody. I stand with my Asian American neighbors, and I say yes to community, no to hate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. 好，那么今天就结束了今天的直播。 我们是在长岛的 Gnca 这个现在有个应该是个小法庭。他要说哪个说一下，介绍一下。OK.
We will broadcast in all our Chinese social media, WeChat and platforms.
Okay, so you want me to say
OK, thank you. 介绍一下。
对。他呢也是在我们就是Nassau County 这边的一位的议员。那昨天他也非常支持呢我们的华裔跟亚裔的社区。那今天在这边呢，我们也是谴责对于就是大靖这边的华人协会的这种歧视的字眼的谴责。那我们希望更多的我们的其他的主义的任何主义的议员呢支持我们华人的社区。
OK, thank you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes, I'm here to support our Asian community here and to send a clear message. Hate is not anymore here. We are not going to tolerate something like this. It's all about our children, our future, and we're going to stand here together and fight to any type of hate. Thank you.
Thank you very much. OK, thank you. OK. 现在直播，你说两句。华人协会这个是讲华人协会。他是华人协会的。好，来，说一次。对呀，我们是那个第一直播和乔森来支持你们，是吧？我们看到是很气愤，来你说两句，谢谢。
谢谢你，谢谢。觉得这个我们华人在美国生活，是非常合群的。在这种多文化多人员的这种生活社区里面，我们想要就是大家能一起统一，能在一起，不让有一些人搞分裂，然后我们的群体受到这种迫害或者骂名，那也有很多其他的主义来支持我们，所以我们华人也一样，我们觉得这个任何一种的这种种族歧视是不允许的。那所以在这种大靖这种很好的社区生活的地方，我们是一点都不会支持允许这种种族歧视，也作为这一次活动也作为这教育的一个版本给孩子们，让孩子们知道我们这个社区是统一是联合的。
好，谢谢。你怎么称呼你？
姓陈 ，Steve。
Steve 陈就是华裔这个大靖这个华裔协会的主席是吧？
对，其中一位主席。
好，谢谢，非常感谢啊！我觉得你在前面发言，我听了，你觉得很好，因为长岛是将来会更好，会更 strong， 对呀。是的，因为我们美国就是个多元化的社会，我们不允许任何主义的种族成分。好，谢谢 Steve， 谢谢，好。
Thank you.